Хартли, подозреваемый человек, арестованный полицией за то, что крутился возле Вудмансли. Я сделал, как вы просили, и хорошо их спрятал. Интересно, как бы Хартли отреагировал на это? И мы с вами продолжаем прохождение Шерлока Холмса. В прошлой серии мы с вами остановились на том, что очистили письмо от чернил. И сейчас зададим вопрос Лане Хартли насчет этих писем. Насчет этого письма.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Что вы спрятали?
So tell me, Mr. Hartley, what did you hide?
Hide? What are you talking about?
Письма Хартли.
I did as you asked and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one, but it's nothing. If you want to know, I was referring to my tools. It was to do with my work, see?
I will check that, Mr. Hartley. That's all for now. Hartley's stories are false leads, but now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the garden tools are kept, at Woodman's Lee.
Судя по письму и показаниям Хартли, он что-то спрятал в том месте, где хранятся садовые инструменты, а также, так как он садовник, Woodman's Lee не определен, нужно все проверить. Отправляется в Woodman's Lee, значит.
Madam, we have information that the valuable stolen papers are hidden amongst the garden tools here at Woodman's Lee. We need to find them.
Oh my. Our tools are kept inside the shed that's right behind me. Here is the key to open it.
Thank you, madam.
Найти применение. Небольшая связка ключей от сарая, где хранятся садовые инструменты.
Let's see what could be hidden here.
Судя по письму и показаниям Хартли, так ясно. Пол в сарае, доски, плохо подогнанная доска, деревянный пол, плохо подогнанная доска, деревянная коробка. Открыть.
Let us see what is in this box.
Короче, цилиндр, чтобы получить единую линию. Некоторые линии обманчивы. Все.
A bundle of letters in a woman's hand with the Kerry family monogram. Hartley and Mrs. Kerry were in a relationship. That is interesting.
Лайм, мой дорогой, вы были так добры ко мне все то время, что я вас знала. Я не могу описать свои чувства, но считаю их греховными. Ни к чему хорошему они не приведут. Я боюсь того, что может случиться. Я боюсь идти против Бога. Я благодарю вас за заботу, но я не могу оставить человека, с которым меня соединил Господь. Это была его воля и мой муж, мой крест, который я должна нести. Он превратил мою жизнь в ад, но синяки сойдут, и вам не нужно волноваться обо мне. Интересно, интересно. Любовная переписка между Лайм Хартли и Джуди Керри была обнаружена в небольшом деревянном ящике в садовом сарае.
Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hartley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Mrs. Kerry, we found your letters.
My letters? I asked Liam to return them to me. I wanted to burn them.
Why did Mr. Hartley put them inside the garden shed?
I don't know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after what happened.
Well, here they are.
Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. Liam, how could he? After what he has done.
You believe that he killed your husband?
No, I do not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
Thank you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find any sailors.
Лайм Хартли, Питер Керри, не Керри, признание Джуди Керри. Начала плакать и сказала, что не может простить Хартли за содеянное, даже несмотря на то, что все еще любит его. Невинный Флинт. Было доказано, что Лайм Хартли флиртовала с женой Питера Керри и даже любил нее, но это не вышло за рамки странных, но безобидных писем о любви. Необъяснимое присутствие Хартли. Присутствие Хартли в слив ночь убийства объясняется его увлеченностью Джуди Керри и тем фактом, что он работал садовником. Питер Керри. Так, признание Джуди Керри. Так, письмо Джуди Керри. Невинный Флинт. Отчаянная ревность. Лайм Хартли любил Джуди Керри столь отчаянно, что его ревность могла спровоцировать его на убийство. Но это навряд ли, поэтому я все-таки считаю невинным, что это невинный флирт. Мотив Хартли. Отношения Лайм Хартли и Джуди Керри могли дать ему мотив для убийства Питера Керри. Невинность Хартли, присутствие Хартли в ночь убийства объясняет его увлеченность Джуди Керри и тем фактом, что он работал садовником. Все-таки невинность Хартли. Из зацепок ничего. Скрыть убийство Питера Керри. Возможно, Уиггинс уже нашел кого-то из экипажа, стоит проверить. И если это так, то стоит вернуться в Бейки-стрит. И из зацепок у нас узелик. Осталось только Питер Керри не курил. Питер Керри давно бросил курить, но он мог оставить кисет Вместе с тем, его жена ни разу его не видела, и было запрещено входить в хижину. Ладно.
Mr. Holmes, we found the sailors from that list you gave us.
Well done, Wiggins. Let me see.
Фью. Так, матрос, рулевой, гарпунщик, матрос, кок, гарпунщик умер неделю назад. Вряд ли это кто-то другой убивает их.
This man is a harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were found on the tobacco pouch. Wiggins, could you gather some information on one of the sailors that you found? His name is Patrick Cairns.
We found Patrick Cairns.
Good job, Wiggins. Where is he?
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub, where he does arm wrestles for money and drinks.
Excellent. Here is your reward. 2 guineas.
Thank you, sir.
Так, живет в дешевой комнатушке в пригороде, его постоянно можно увидеть в пабе. Так. Все-таки связано, да? Ага. Если кисет принадлежит Патрику Керсу, это указывает на его присутствие на месте преступления, но это нужно доказать.
If I wish to speak to Cairns without alarming him, I had better dress as a sailor.
Так, значит, нужно сейчас переодеться в моряка. Здесь моряком и о защите Кернса в папе. Морская ведьма. Морская ведьма. Ну что ж, давайте переоденемся. Серия такая, фермер. Моряк. Головной убор. Прически. Такая будет. Очки не будем, усы и борода. А пускай такая будет.
Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch.
Он кисет. Отправляемся. Морская ведьма. Осталось это сказать вам. Как он выглядит вообще? Никаких комментариев. Ведьмам связано, значит нет. Вот он все.
Hello there. Are you Cairns?
What do you want?
Чего ты хочешь?
We've heard all about the gambling and arm wrestling here. You seem like the likely sort, and I'm up for it.
I start 10 shillings.
Suits me.
Так, следи так, нажмите, чтобы... Так.
You were lucky. I wasn't focused. Let's go again.
I'm ready to try again.
Fine. If you want me to take all your money, no problem with that.
Давайте посмотрим, что деньги.
Well, good for you, I reckon. You're stronger than you look. Here's your 10 shillings.
I'd like to buy you a drink.
Good winner as well. That's good. Let's have a drink. You're a good type. Seems you've managed to settle down in life. You've got money, eh?
Not all that much.
Oh, well. At least you're not as poor as me.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So, as a result, find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
A harpooner? Interesting. You've had a lot of adventures, I bet.
Of course. It's been a dozen years since I've sailed. I've seen everything. Old Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger. We sailed to the Cape of Good Hope.
Black Peter, you say? I've heard rumors about that one.
He was the worst of them all. He was a liar, and violent too. Swinging those fists of his around. He was a tyrant, and not much of a captain. At least, not as good as Great Roger.
I see. Yes. I was told terrible tales about Black Peter.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Ну, узнаем его портрет. Золотая серьга. То совсем забыл про портрет. Дешевая одежда. Сильные руки. Желтые ногти. Татуировка моряка. Портрет котов.
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year. Peter Kerry was captain of the Sea Unicorn, and I was a spare harpooner. We were coming out of the ice pack on our way home. One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. There was only one man on her, and he wasn't a sailor. The crew must have thought that she'd foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in the dinghy. I guess they all drowned. We took the man on board.
And who was he?
I dunno. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's strange enough.
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him. And of course, nobody could ask Black Peter about it.
You know what happened, don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. Those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it. But all this must stay between us. All right?
Of course. Back in a second. I'm off to the Kazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
Yes. Так. Патрик Кернс. Опытный гарпунщик, в настоящее время безработный. Часто бывает в морской ведьме. Заведение популярное среди моряков, любящих побороться на руках за деньги. Много курит, что заметно по пожелтевшим пальцам. Питер Керри постарался скрыть убийство отца Джона Неллигана. Питер Керри рассказал о том, как в августе 1683 года на его глазах Питер Керри столкнул человека за борт. Этого мужчину накануне едва спасли. Им, очевидно, был Джошуа Неллиган. Патрик Кернс профессиональный гарпунщик, как и многие моряки, он часто курит, о чем свидетельствуют пожелтевшие кончики пальцев. Положите кисет в карман Кернса и проверьте, его ли он. Без проблем. Да что ты будешь делать? Что ты бегаешь, что ли? Тянуть вниз.
Here it is.
Вот так. Поговорить. Табак.
Have you got any tobacco? We've run out of mine.
Nah, I lost my pouch. I don't know where.
Подожди-ка.
What's this?
Это что?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh,
Я бы...
oh, it is.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab's his name. He commanded the Pequod. He might need good harpooners. I'll tell him about you.
Maybe. If you like, aye.
I'm done here. It's time to leave.
Кисет под... Так. По утверждению Патрика Кернса, табачный кисет принадлежит ему, что доказывает его присутствие на месте преступления. Так. Кисет доказывает вину. Кернс подтвердил, что это его кисет. Это означает, что он был на месте преступления и виновен в убийстве. Кисет доказывает визит. Кисет подтвердил. Кернс подтвердил, что это его кисет. Это означает, что он был на месте преступления, но не обязательно доказывать его вину в убийстве. Он мог убить Питера Керри за то, что тот убил спасенного человека. Но так ли это? Все-таки мне кажется, он не виновен. Невинность, поиск акций, возвращение записной книжки, поиск акций, невинность, мотив Неллигана, невинность Хартли, невинность, возвращение записной книжки, это мотив тогда, что-то не сходится, чего-то не хватает. Это было обнаружено все. Кисет доказывает визит. Кисет доказывает вину. Кернс виновен. Питера Керри убил Патрик Кернс, профессиональный гарпунщик. Его табачный кисет обнаружили в хижине Керри. Обвинить Кернса. Патрик Кернс, хладнокровный убийца, он виновен в убийстве Питера Керри и должен быть наказан. Еще раз повторюсь, убийца его не считает, так как он в принципе не подходит на эту роль. Да, он китобоец, но не убийца. Помиловать Кернса. Патрик Кернс убил Питера Керри, но непредумышленно. Это была самозащита от вооруженного и разъяренного пьяного моряка. Я за это выбираю этот вариант. Подтвердить? Да. Следующий день.
Good afternoon. I must be at the wrong address. I'd like to speak with the ship's captain, Captain Ahab. Is that you?
Это вы?
No, my name is Sherlock Holmes.
That detective fella?
Тут детектив,
So,
вы хотели
you
меня
wanted to
видеть?
see me?
That is
Верно,
correct.
вам нужно-
We need to
вам
talk
нужно поговорить.
About
О
what?
about Black
Чёрном
Peter,
Питере, который
who was
был
killed
убит
in his own
гарпуном в
hut with a
собственной хижине.
harpoon.
You
Вы
know,
знаете,
don't
да?
ya?
Yes,
Да.
How?
Как?
the tobacco pouch.
Табачный кисет.
You
Вы
recognized
признали
it.
его. Моряк. Это
The
были вы.
sailor.
Невероятно.
It was
Ну
you.
ладно. Я
Unbelievable.
сознаюсь, но если вы и правда
Well,
все знаете, то вы
fine.
в курсе, что я не
I
хотел его убивать.
confess.
Он вынудил
But if
меня.
you really do know everything, you should also know that I didn't want to kill him. He made me do it.
I know.
Я знаю.
Did you know about this
Известная
story with the
история
bond
Сакса.
certificates?
Вы
Did you
нужны-
need
вы
money?
нуждались в деньгах.
Yeah.
Да.
I just
Всего лишь
wanted him to
хотел,
cough
чтобы он
up a little
победил.
silver.
Я безработный,
I'm out of
и
work,
подумал, вдруг он
and I thought
поможет
maybe
мне.
he could
Но
help
он
me.
отказался и
Well,
начал
he
оскорблять меня.
refused outright, and he insulted
Напомнил
me.
ему,
I
что знаю
reminded
об
him
убийстве в
I
море
knew all
в
about that murder he
1883 году.
committed at sea in 1883. Then he got
Но
mad when I
затем
spoke
он
about his
обезумел,
treasure.
когда я заговорил
I
о
barely
его
just had time to throw
сокровище.
the harpoon at
Мне
him
едва
before he could
хватило
jump at me with
времени
his
бросить
knife.
гарпун в него,
You know
прежде
the
чем он
truth.
бросится на меня
What
с
will you do
ножом.
now?
Вы знаете правду.
I ask that you return the
Прошу
bond
вас
certificates.
вернуть акции,
Keep
не
some
надо
of them.
оставить себе,
You will need
они
them
вам
in your
понадобятся.
exile.
Лучше бы
It
покинуть
is better
страну
that you
на
leave the
несколько лет.
country for a few years.
And you won't say
Вы
anything to the
сообщи- вы не
police?
сообщите полиции?
I will not say
Не
anything
сообщите,
as
если
long as you
вернете
return the money.
Well,
Хорошо,
I'll do as you
сделаю
ask.
так, как скажешь.
But what
Но,
about
кажется,
Inspector
Инспектор
Lestrade?
I will deal with
Я с ним
him.
разберусь.
Goodbye.
До свидания. Некоторое время спустя.
It's good that you asked me to
Хорошо,
come,
вы-
Mr. Holmes. We do need to
Мистер Холмс,
talk.
вам норм?
About what?
Чем же?
What do you mean?
Как о
Our
чем?
case,
О вашем
Mr.
деле,
Holmes.
мистер Холмс.
You sent me a
Ваша
message
маленькая
via your little
дарованец
thug,
прислал письмо ваше.
His name is
Вот,
Wiggins, Inspector.
telling me that the case is
Зачем
solved.
мне это дело
Well,
скрывать?
Mr. Holmes, tell me,
Холмс,
who is
кто
our
это?
murderer
Где он?
and where is he?
The morgue.
В морге.
Eh?
Что?
His name is, or rather was, Pablo Coventral. He was also on the ship with Peter Kerry, and he was a harpooner. I'll tell you everything, Inspector, but do calm down. Mrs. Hudson will bring us tea and orange cake.
Orange cake? You're spoiling me, Mr. Holmes. That's my favourite.
Некоторое время спустя.
Ah, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes.
Inspector Lestrade told me that I should thank you for clearing my name. He also said that you were waiting for me here. I came as fast as I could. I cannot thank you enough. It is all because of you that this nightmare is finally over.
I believe that this belongs to you.
My father's securities. Incredible. But how did you get them?
It would take far too long to explain.
Tell me. This is extraordinary. You are a genius.
Then that may serve as an explanation. Goodbye, Mr. Nelligan, and good luck.
Удачи вам.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
Мистер Холмс.
And thank
Спасибо
you.
огромное вам.
A
Спасибо.
1,000 times thank you.
Питер Керри был убит Патриком Кернсом, профессиональным гарпунщиком, единственным, кто был способен совершить такой точный бросок. Его табачный кисет обнаружили в хижине Керри, но убийство произошло в целях самозащиты от вооруженного и разъяренного пьяного моряка. Вы решили отпустить Патрика Керса. Найдено улик 16 заключений. Кернс виновен. Приговор помиловать Керса. Ага. Так, удерживать, чтобы... Ну, так как мы прошли эту историю, а в игре еще на этой деле хватает концовок, поэтому можем посмотреть. Да, найдено улик 16 из 16, заключение. Кернс виновен. Другие версии. И сейчас мы быстро пройдем все версии возможные и закончим опять же на том, что помиловать Кернса.
If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Holmes, could you explain it to me?
As I informed you on our way here, Patrick Cairns is the murderer of Black Peter.
Why bring me here? Wouldn't it be better if we were out looking for him?
That would be futile, as he will be with us in approximately 12 seconds.
Oh, well, if this is your idea of humour...
No, I just heard the front door. Prepare yourself.
Good day, gentlemen. A young lad gave me a note from Captain Ahab. Am I at the right address? Is he here?
Indeed, it is the correct address. But in place of your captain, may I present to you Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard?
That means...
It means, my friend, that you are arrested for the murder of Black Peter.
What? What? A trap? You think you can take me?
Here now. We'll have none of that.
And I say that we will.
Are you all right? Are you able to stand?
Oh, my jaw. Gore. He took me by surprise, Mr. Holmes. Otherwise, he would have seen what I'm capable of. Oh.
Yes, he was lucky.
But you got him.
It was remarkably easy. He lost his balance after he struck you.
And you practice boxing, I know. You must have hit him hard. Our fellow is knocked out.
We should call for a police cab and then take you to the hospital.
Yes, well, no need for a hospital. I would prefer to keep this between us. You know.
Of course, Inspector. The case is closed. The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
It was John Nelligan, Inspector.
I thought as much, but I failed to see his motive.
Revenge, Inspector. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
Well then, I'll arrest this Nelligan. I don't fancy his chances of getting out of prison after this.
I will accompany you, Inspector. John Nelligan, it was you who killed Black Peter. You attempted to convince him to return the bond certificates, and you threatened to call the police. Peter Kerry was drunk. He drew his knife. In panic, you took the harpoon and made your lucky throw in self-defense. Put that in your report, Lestrade.
No, I didn't kill anyone. You have it all wrong.
You better thank Mr. Holmes for saving your neck, Nelligan.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
There are two culprits, Inspector, Nelligan and Hurtley.
What? Well, I would never have guessed, Mr. Holmes. They are a rotten pair, though.
It was a combination of two motives, culminating in one crime.
What were their motives?
The first was revenge. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
And the second?
The second was a crime of passion. Liam Hurtley was in love with Black Peter's wife, and this caused a conflict between him and Carrie.
Well, well, well. Makes sense, Mr. Holmes.
I suggest that you organize a small confrontation between the two, just to confirm my accusations.
That's a good idea, Mr. Holmes. I'll talk to these fellows. Join me in the interrogation room. Gentlemen, we know everything about your association to kill Black Peter. Admit that you planned it together.
Our association? I don't even know this man.
You needed to kill Peter Kerry. There had to be two of you there.
Ridiculous. I'm innocent.
All that remains is to determine the level of guilt. Which one of you is the initiator in this case?
But I just told you I've never seen this man before.
It's him. He's the culprit. He was forcing me. He threatened me. He's the mastermind behind it all.
Shut up. You're a lunatic.
Well, it all seems very clear, don't you think, Mr. Holmes?
Inspector, I believe that Nelligan is the true culprit. Hurtley was his accomplice, blinded by his love for Peter's wife.
You've got it wrong. It isn't true.
That's right. I confess.
Well, young man, it turns out you are the gang leader. I don't fancy your chances now.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
It was John Nelligan, Inspector.
I thought as much, but I failed to see his motive.
Revenge, Inspector. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
Well then, I'll arrest this Nelligan. I don't fancy his chances of getting out of prison after this.
I will accompany you, Inspector. You are guilty of the murder of Black Peter. Confess now, and your punishment may be more merciful.
No, I didn't kill him.
Your motive? The valuable securities that Peter Kerry stole from your father. Kerry refused to return the bond certificates, and then he threatened you. You were afraid, and in your panic, you took the harpoon and made your lucky throw.
But that's not true.
You're a liar, Mr. Nelligan. It's all over now.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
There are two culprits, Inspector, Nelligan and Hurtley.
What? Well, I would never have guessed, Mr. Holmes. They are a rotten pair, though.
It was a combination of two motives, culminating in one crime.
What were their motives?
The first was revenge. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
And the second?
The second was a crime of passion. Liam Hurtley was in love with Black Peter's wife, and this caused a conflict between him and Carrie.
Well, well, well. Makes sense, Mr. Holmes.
I suggest that you organize a small confrontation between the two, just to confirm my accusations.
That's a good idea, Mr. Holmes. I'll talk to these fellows. Join me in the interrogation room. Gentlemen, we know everything about your association to kill Black Peter. Admit that you planned it together.
Our association? I don't even know this man.
You needed to kill Peter Kerry. There had to be two of you there.
Ridiculous. I'm innocent.
All that remains is to determine the level of guilt. Which one of you is the initiator in this case?
But I just told you I've never seen this man before.
It's him. He's the culprit. He was forcing me. He threatened me. He's the mastermind behind it all.
Shut up. You're a lunatic.
Well, it all seems very clear, don't you think, Mr. Holmes?
Both are guilty, of course, but I believe that Hartley was the initiator of the crime.
It's ridiculous. Why would I need the help of this weakling?
You wanted to be rid of the man who was terrorizing his wife, and who prevented the two of you from being together. Young Nelligan was just following his lead.
You are wrong. I have nothing whatsoever to do with this.
You'll explain that to the judge.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
It was Liam Hartley.
That doesn't surprise me. I've never seen a guiltier-looking fellow.
He was in love with Judith Carey. It caused a conflict that proved fatal for her husband.
I see. Come on now, let us confront him.
Liam Hartley, it was you who killed Black Peter. He learned of your relationship with his wife, and he asked that you meet him to share in a drink. Then began the quarrel. He drew his knife, and in self-defense, you took up the harpoon. Lestrade, please put that in your report.
I deny everything. You have no proof.
Calm down and thank your stars that Mr. Holmes just saved your neck.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
It was Liam Hartley.
That doesn't surprise me. I've never seen a guiltier-looking fellow.
He was in love with Judith Carey. It caused a conflict that proved fatal for her husband.
I see. Come on now, let us confront him.
Liam Hartley, you are formally accused of the murder of Peter Kerry. We are aware that you were in love with Carey's wife. He was a violent and irascible man. He needed to be eliminated. You had no qualms.
But that's absurd. I'm innocent.
Well, we caught you, lad.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.